how long we're gonna run this. I'm doing a bunch of stuff tonight. Just got done filming. I'm trying to make sure I got this set up properly. All messages. That's how I want to set it up. Yeah, so not a lot going on as far as knife stuff. I'm making some supper, me and the dog. So we'll see who shows up. I made some knife purchases and stuff like that. I thought I would do this in lieu of a short tonight. We'll see who shows up. Talk about some things in the knife industry that drive us nuts. How about that? You guys want to talk about that? See who shows up. If no one shows up before too long, I'll just end this. Because I mean, I don't want to just talk to myself. I have noticed some stuff going on in the knife world. Just the overall, I mean, the prices of everything have went up, but holy cow, there's some stuff that's expensive out there. Some stuff that shouldn't be that expensive. Oh God, it walked right into the door frame. Some stuff out there that just shouldn't be that expensive. I'm not talking about Benchmade. There's been a few knives that have come out recently that are just really overly expensive. I'm trying to, I don't have it anymore. I had a couple of them that I was going to show you guys that I was going to talk about that. I mean, we know prices, everything goes up. They got to keep up with the price of, with the running price of inflation. So I did want to talk about something that's happening. So my folding knife design should be coming soon. I saw renders of what it's going to look like. Sorry about that light. I'm in the kitchen. I'm trying to get my ham and beans done so that I've got something to eat for the week. Next week, I'm going to make a pot of chili. Wife and kid are in Japan. I got to fend for myself. So me and the dog have been planning out our meals so that we've got a bunch of stuff. So only one person here. If this stays this way, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of late. It's 2 a.m. on a Monday morning. I think my overseas viewers would be the ones that are going to be watching this. Hi, unless you're on the East Coast, maybe a 5 a.m. early riser. So let me know who's here. I'll check and see. Had the sprinklers on. I want to see how much. I got to make sure that the sprinklers worked. Yeah. Now I just got to keep the dog from digging into mud until tomorrow. Nope, you're not going out there. You're not going out there in that wet dirt. You're not smart enough not to dig. I made a couple knife purchases here recently. Actually, I've made a few knife purchases. I used some of the YouTube money, and I bought some really good stuff. Bought some knives that I've wanted for a long time, like this, and the Petrified Fish Havrog, the Microtech Amphibian. I got one of those. And they're right within the price range I would expect, but I've seen some stuff recently, and some of it's been Benchmade, just ridiculously expensive. And I've just seen some ridiculous stuff like the NERDS. We talked about that. Where's the Havrog? I was going to show you guys. This has been an I want it for a while now, and I had kind of forgot about it. I had one come in from Jared. This was one of the first knives that came from Jared. As a matter of fact, I filmed a video about this tonight. It was one of the first knives that Jared over at Neves Knives sent me. And I was pretty impressed with it. And I had said for a long time I was going to get one. And I kind of just forgot about it until recently. I don't know, I think I was going through some of my old stuff and somebody had made a comment on the Havrog video. And I was like, yeah, I really think I want to get one of those. So how's the audio, by the way? I've got the microphone here on my collar. We could always move it. Let's see, I've seen people do this. Let's see. How's that? Is that better? We put the microphone on the hat like that. That's what Scabber does. This is my buddy Scab. That's how he does it. That's better. That's better. That's not bad at all. As long as I don't, that's gonna pose a problem. Oops, sorry, I bet that was loud. I'll put it right there. How's that? That's not gonna work, is it? We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Put it right there. How's that? So yeah, I got the Havrog. It's something I'd wanted for a long time, and kind of forgotten about. And so when I saw it, somebody made a comment on my Havrog video, and I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I should get one of those. This is probably one of the best budget knives out there. And I'm really upset with some other companies' pricing on stuff. It just seems like everything's going the wrong direction. Even with inflation being the way it is, there's ways to do stuff. And then, of course, I saw our buddy Greg Medford with his ridiculous plan of like a black card thing where you get a custom knife. I I'm hesitant to invest $1,000 into anyone's company, let alone someone that literally tries to burn his own business down every time they're at a knife show and every time they put out a piece of merch. Can you guys hear me pretty well? So, yeah, that's something. And if you're here, there's three little buttons somewhere. You'll see three little dots. Click that, drop it down, give the video a like, because that helps push us up the algorithm. But like, any rate, like I said, so I've had some pretty good knife purchases lately. But I did have one. I filmed a video about it today. Really disappointed in it. I got it because I saw it on Jared's channel, and I really like. It's the first time that I feel as though Jared has led me astray. You know what I mean? Like usually Jared's recommendations, I follow them, I listen to them, and they're pretty good. But I bought something that he's had on his channel a couple times because it looked so cool, and I don't like that there. I'm just really disappointed in that purchase. It really was not everything I had. Oh no, it fell. It was not everything I had hoped it would be. Let's just put it that way. I was very disappointed in the knife overall. You'll see the video. I'm not going to bring it out for this video because I put it away because I don't want to look at it, because the fact is that I got it, and then I realized like how much I paid for it compared to the quality of what I got. And I was like, even though it's under $100, I'm like, that's too much for that item. It really is. Say hi, buddy. Can you say hi? Say hi. Say hi to everybody. What are you doing? I don't think he likes being on camera. Yeah, I just really was disappointed with it, and I'm really hoping that I'm hoping that Jared does a video on it and saying like, hey, look, this is not like a quality knife, because I really feel as though it's. You work for a knife maker there in Alaska. Who is it that you work for, Jeff? Now, custom knives, I understand the price. But I got to tell you, like, I was looking at stuff. I couldn't afford to make custom knives anymore. I couldn't afford to do it. It's so expensive just to get the materials. Like, if I was Mark Knapp, I'll have to look it up. It sounds familiar, but I'd have to look it up and make sure that it's who I'm thinking of. The cost of custom knives, just the stuff you need to make custom knives, has went so through the roof that there's just no way that you can be competitive. There's no way that I could make knives and even make a profit the way I was doing it before. It wouldn't work. There's just no way to do it. With just the price of steel and the price of handle material and the price of abrasives and all that, I'm like, God, it's more than twice what I was paying when I was making knives a few years ago. It's just like, I know that if I was going to do it to make a living, I basically at the point, if you're not making a knife for like $500, you're just making enough money to make your next knife or next batch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's some stuff that is done in batch work, but when you're doing everything strictly by hand, if you're not doing any CNC, if you're doing it all hand ground, you just can't. You're losing money by making a knife. It just really is ridiculous. Unless you're one of the big companies that's got like an entire shop of machines that is running, and then running at night. There's just no way to do it. Like everybody's like, why do the Grimsmo Brothers knives cost $1,000 each? Because that's what it costs. Oh, 04 Hemi picked up the frack in Thai. Can't stop locally. That thing rock. Did you use my? Um, did you use my link? Companies using getting steel from Ukraine. I don't know. I don't know. All the steel I ever used when I made knives came from Niagara Specialty Metals, because I did pretty much everything in 20 CV. I did some stuff in S30, or I'm sorry, S90, no, S125V, which still was coming out of Niagara. It was a CPM steel, so that was stuff I was using. I know a guy who has spec made blades from Alabama Damascus, really cuts down on labor. Yeah, I mean, if you want a Alabama Damascus, in my opinion, is just a garbage substandard material to make a knife out of. There's problems with it. The steels are inconsistent. You got some steel that hardens better than others in that mix. Um, it's never. I've just never. I made one knife in Alabama Damascus, and it was an utter failure. Um, and I mean, I was able to salvage it, but the original plan was a complete failure, and I had to turn around and completely change the design of the knife, and then reimburse the guy that had ordered it his money, and then take what was left of that Alabama Damascus and try and salvage it into something. Um, oh, okay. Uh, Guys, there are some little dots on your screen. If you click on them, it'll drop down to a menu where you can hit the thumbs up button. Guess what? It's free. I'm not even asking you to drop a super chat. I mean, you could if you love me, but um, Concept. Oh, I'm sorry. God damn it. Katsu Knives sent me the render for my knife design. I have sent them a bunch of the work, the stuff. So it's going to be a folding knife. It's going to be a flipper. It is going to be. It's going to upset a lot of people. I put out I put out polls on several different social media sites as to what locking mechanism you wanted. It was going to either be a button lock. It was either going to be button lock, frame lock. I can't remember. It was button lock, frame lock. Huh. At any rate, we went with frame lock. Oh, it was axis lock. It was either button lock, axis lock, or frame lock. And looking at how I wanted it to work, and looking at a lot of times, um, if you tap your screen 3 times, it will send a like. Is that on an Apple device? That might not be for everyone. Um, yeah, it was a toss up between those three, but the problem is button locks sometimes have a tendency to not have enough detent to be snappy for a flipper, and so I definitely wanted to have the snappiest possible action. So button lock was, axis lock was kind of out of the question. I've never really had a lot of axis locks that had enough detent to be a flipper to have that snap to give you the good action. Button locks have a tendency to every once in a while be a little soft. And so even though there are a lot of people are like, oh, just don't make it a frame lock, it's going to be a frame lock. Like if you want a good snappy action on a flipper, most of the time it's going to be a frame lock or a liner lock. Or, well, sorry, you could probably do it with a compression style lock. So is YY Wells Blade Works custom sell fast handmade cryo heat treat 20 CV for mid 300. Have one. I love, highly recommend trying one. Yeah, I mean you can get people that are, if you can buy like enough bulk steel, you can get your price down. trying to make some coffee here. I haven't had any coffee yet. I filmed a bunch of videos tonight. I'm gonna try and film some stuff tomorrow, but I have some stuff that I got to get caught up on too when it comes to filming. I have some knives that have been here for a very long time that I had forgotten about, and you've probably seen like the Traxler video that went up today, and it tanked at first. I was like, oh god, that is the worst video I've done. Now it seems to be getting some traction. It's been a pretty good video, but that's been here for way longer than I wanted. I have a couple other knives. Like I never finished doing a video of the Wea by Rosecraft Blades. I ordered a Rosecraft Blades, one of their slip joints. So we're going to carry that for a while because I absolutely love a good slip joint. So have you ever made anything out of 1095? Yes, I've made a couple knives out of 1095. I did 1095 with a true Hamon on it for one of my buddies. It was a very intricate build. It was it was a very, very thin blade. It was kind of, guys, I had to order my favorite coffee, my coffee brand coffee. Guys, check out my coffee brand coffee. I'm stuck to this because I'm out of my good coffee. But back to the thing, coffee brand coffee. Like if you guys drink a lot of coffee, check out coffee brand coffee. It's Jeremy over at the Quartering. It's his company. I have a link in the description of my videos that will save you 10% on their coffee. And I'm telling you, it's some of the best coffee. It's some of the best coffee out there. It is so, so good. But 1095 is fun. I wanted to do a cryo heat treat or a cryo treatment on it, like a cryo quench. But our nitrogen doer that we were going to use was leaking, and so I was unable to. So I just did a Parks. I just did a Parks oil quench. So it came out really good. I was happy with it. He still loves it. The guy that made it for it was a custom build for him. He's an outdoorsman. It was a custom. It was one of my sea snake designs in a custom 1095 with a true Hamon. And then I made a knife for my daughter in 440C. I've got a lot of knives in 1095, but I've made stuff in 1095. It's I would tell you, it is so much more forgiving to work with than like something like 20 CV at 67 Rockwell. It's so much easier to work with. And guys, if you're here, please either find the three little dots and drop it down and drop a like on this so we get more eyes on it, or like somebody said, click it 3 times. And let me know what you're carrying, what you got in pocket. I carried this by accident to Home Depot this morning before I went to bed. So you guys know I work nights. It's just a little after, like it's not even the end of my, like this wouldn't even be the end of my lunch break if I was at work right now. So I've gotten a lot of stuff done already. I literally filmed, I think I filmed 3 videos today after I got up, and a bunch of other stuff. Do you have any kind of, do you do any traditional cleaver build? I have not made a knife in a while. I've got too many problems with nerve damage in my shoulder and arm and hands. So I don't make knives anymore. I made knives for a few years. I'm going to make myself one of each of my custom knives. I think I owe it to myself to actually like own each of my designs as like one of my own, like the way I want it. Hey, what's up, Brant? Guys, go follow Hinderer Collector. Were you able to get your channel stuff fixed there, Brant? So that people stop reporting your channel? So, well, you have a good day at work. 04 Hemi. So 04 Hemi is a guy that's been around the channel for a while. So is Hinderer. But no, Steve, I don't even make any knives anymore. I just can't do it. Just holding this out with my right arm is just gonna be enough to make my life miserable tonight, or well, in the morning when I go to bed. I'll tell you something I've learned, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Something I've learned sleeping during the day because I work nights. Guys that ride Harleys are assholes. There's no need for them at this signal up here on a corner to rev their bike the way they do at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm sleeping. Recommend somebody for a cleaver build? I don't know. I would have said Jim Skelton, but Jim's got enough problems. Jim's not making knives anymore either. Jim and I are the same age, so we're falling apart. Us older guys are falling apart. So Jim made some really cool cleavers. I mean, there's some production ones out there. You could try and see if you can get Andrew DeVillers, like an ADV. You could try and find one of his tack butchers. Or a custom butcher. Those are really good knives. I've always liked those. Todd Begg, if you're looking for something along the lines of a custom, but they're expensive. Here's the thing. I can't think of a lot of like actual, like full on custom makers that are still making a lot of knives right now. There's guys out there, but like the guys that like I would recommend would be guys that are like, they're not as well known, and a lot of them have just been they've been priced out of the market. They can't afford to buy enough materials to make it cheap enough to continue making knives, like I was saying. I'm making a pot of beans. You guys want to see? Pot of beans and ham, and there's a piece of fat back in there. So yeah, that I was recommending people. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know anybody anymore. I mean, like I said, you could try and find some of those. But I mean, if you're looking for a kitchen cleaver, there's a lot of guys out there that are making kitchen knives now. So I really don't know. I really don't know. A lot of the guys that I knew that were kind of the smaller kitchen knife makers, or the smaller knife makers, I mean, they're like I said, they're gone. They're all gone. And there's a lot of guys I haven't seen at the last couple knife shows. And now that I'm working and I'm off Sunday, Monday, there's not much chance that I'm going to get to knife shows anymore. I work Saturday night into Sunday morning. I wouldn't even get off work until like I would have to leave straight from work to go to a knife show and be there all day and then drive back. Yeah, I don't foresee that happening. Bushcraft USA went out of business. There's a lot of little independent knife makers. You know who you should reach out to is Jake Ginsburg. Jacob Creates. Jake, Jakeb. His knives. He might have on. Tops makes cleavers. I think he was, I mean, if you're looking for production, Tops makes them. There's a lot of production companies that make a cleaver of some sorts. Artisan has one called the Mastiff that they have. As a matter of fact, we can go out and look at it. I've got my case out. I'm not gonna break out a bunch of knives. I want to keep the studio at least somewhat put together so it's not a mess, because I'm gonna try and film some more. Here, I've got a couple right here. Actually, I've got one right here. Here's one. This is kind of a cleaver style, Steve. This is the Runtley XL by Finch Knives. Kind of a cleaver, but Yeah, those would be ones like for production ones that I could recommend. So, yeah, and I wanted to give you guys a heads up with the channel. So summer is here. I know that stuff is going to start slowing down for content. I think I'm going to. I'm debating whether it's going to be 3 videos a week or 2 videos a week. We've been doing 3 videos a week for a while. I had one week where I didn't do a, a third video and it seemed to be fine. I'm thinking we're going to go to just Fridays and Sundays for videos. I'm going to still try and do live feeds. But on top of everything else, I haven't had time to film with everything going on. Like when when I have my days off, I've got so much I got to do and film. I think I want to cut that schedule back just for the summer until the wife and kid get back. Once the wife and kid get back and I'm not doing all the stuff that my wife would typically do, like my wife does all of our laundry and stuff like that. And once I get back into a schedule where I'm not having to do the laundry and all the stuff for the dog and then get like a meal prep that will last the week because I don't have, by the time I get home and take care of the dog and all the little things I have to do, just like every other person that's a grown adult, but I haven't had to do it all by myself for so long that it just, I don't have the time to film that I used to. So, and this guy right here takes up a lot of time because you can't just come home and ignore him. You got to spend some time with him because he needs attention too. He misses the girls as much as I do. Don't you, buddy? Don't you, buddy? Boop. Yeah. Yeah. That is weird. I wish you would stop doing that. He just sticks his tongue out and just leaves it there. Like he's not licking. He just puts his tongue on you. Yes. Yes, you're a weirdo, aren't you? Aren't you? Vicious. Vicious animal here. So yeah, he takes up a lot of my time because I gotta spend some time with him. So, plus he's got to get walked and all that, and just a lot of stuff going on. So, guys, I think I'm gonna end this. I think we're only gonna do about 30 minutes. I just wanted to give you guys a quick hello. Have a happy 4th of July. I got to work the 4th. I will try to do some. I will try to do some shorts from the office. And I wanted to point out. So some of you guys have commented in videos about. So here, we'll just do this. So my arms. You guys have commented about like somebody was like, "Oh, meth sores, da 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 da, this and that." Recently got diagnosed with chronic folliculitis. So it's one of those things that like I get it on my neck. Every once in a while, I'll get it up here. You can see I've got a spot right here that is like all inflamed. It's an inflammation of hair follicles. It's probably tied to my autoimmune disorder, is what they're saying. So we're gonna figure that out, and I'm gonna have to get on some new medication. But so yeah, if any of you guys were like, somebody said, "Oh, it looks like you got a staph infection or something like that," appreciate the concern. No, I've got folliculitis. It can turn into a staph infection because you wind up with open wounds. But yeah, it's kind of gnarly looking, but it's just all that. That's all it is. Be 46 on the 3rd. I turned 50 in August. I'm not happy about that. That's not good coffee. That's not good coffee. I just ordered some of the Coffee Brand Coffee stuff. I ordered some of the stuff. That's not good coffee. That is cheap coffee. You know how American companies sell half and half? They just make shitty coffee that you got to put a... Well, good morning, Ryan R. They just make shitty coffee and they label it as bold. My opinion on the Boker Kalashnikov. I have one here. I did a video of it. So Glue, if you want to go back and find that, I did a video about the Boker Kalashnikov. I don't know where mine is. It's here somewhere. It's probably in its box up here on this mess that is all the knives that come in and wind up in here for review. It's probably on one of these 2 shelves. If not, it got dropped back here it could be back there somewhere with all of these knives, or possibly made its way back here or on this shelf full of knives. I don't really know where it went, but I have one. It's underwhelming, but I mean, it's not horrible. You can go check that video out. Subscribe to the video too, because or subscribe to the channel too. It's for what it is, it's not that bad. It's not okay. So let's go ahead and then go back, and you can see these boxes full of knives that are on the floor. So not as organized as I would like it to be. Those are on the floor. There's knives in that chair. There's knives in that chair. There's knives on the love seat. There's a lot of knives on the love seat. So I just got too many knives. I have companies sending me stuff. I've got a knife somewhere around here. A guy sent me a knife for review. I can't find it. I'm gonna have to buy this guy a new knife. I just have no idea where in God's name that knife went. I have looked almost everywhere. I can't think of anywhere I haven't looked where that knife would be. I mean, look, there's knives everywhere here. Like if my wife was home, she would murder me. Just knives everywhere. So, any rate, guys, yeah, half an hour. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna play some video games. I'm gonna snuggle with the pup here, huh, buddy? And then take him for a walk in a little bit, and then stuff like that. So, at any rate, guys, thanks for hanging out. I love y'all. There was a video that went up this Sunday morning that you should check out. I did a video about a Sen cut knife that has a very, very unique look. You'll be able to find it. It was my most recent upload. So that's something that like you should check it out because it's a really, really unique knife. I have a few unique knives. I'm gonna do a video tomorrow. I've already got it planned. I got them set out, which is kind of like weird and unique knives that are really, really good. So, at any rate, guys, I love you all. I'll see you next time. I may do a live feed tomorrow in what would be my morning. So late evening for everyone in California, late night for everyone on the East Coast. So, guys, I've recently been on a case. Every single one has had a burr the size of a rope. What are they sharpened with? Who knows? I don't like case knives. They're too expensive. I have a couple old ones that were really nice. So, at any rate, guys, I love you all. Talk to you later. See you next time.